I realized that it comes back again to how powerful creators we are. Because I realized that obviously our minds and our brains, we love simplicity. And even like I'm in the same situation as you. So I realized when it comes to certain things, we get comfortable. And we have visions, and you might even have a dream of, yeah, maybe in 10 years I'll be doing that. And all these little things and thoughts of you being in this. And everything you think of from the future is from that comfortability. So now you change that comfortability, you think everything else is going to change, but that's just a thought process. And one thing that was amazing to me is one guy told me a long time ago when I was a kid, and he told me the key trick is to never get comfortable. And I never understood that. And it was only in certain situations I realized that I could just get up and leave because I wasn't comfortable. I was open. And when I was comfortable in something and it capsized for me, I would always be in my head and, oh, but I pictured me doing this from there and doing that from there and doing whatever. But I realized that it's just because we have those thoughts about it and we've got a state of comfortability. Because it's like, even in my situation, my missus, she's the same. She's comfortable. She wants to be comfortable. She wants to get to the comfortability. And it's like, I realized that I'm comfortable now. I'm comfortable going through what I'm going through. I'm especially the journey I've been on. So it's like the journey I've been on means that I can close my eyes for the rest of this journey because nothing else could be worse than what I've been on. And I've seen what happens when I put it in the hand, well, when I take it out of here and I stay here. Do you know what I mean? I let this do what it wants, but I stay present. And I've seen what that can do. So my missus, she looks at me like I'm stone cold. She thinks I'm stone cold. She thinks, what? This guy don't care about nothing. Nothing can touch him. Like and sometimes I'll be stressing because my daughter's health and all those things. And other times I'll be like, you know what, babe? I love the fact that we're going through this because we have a lot to explain to our kids. We have a lot to tell them, a lot of experience to give them, because if they had it all nice, and then we went through this, we wouldn't know better. But even if we go through this again, we would have known better. So the experience and all of that, and I feel like, and I've seen her just lighten up. My missus has just lightened up, and it's like, we just battle through all these things, and then they get frustrating moments, but you just realize that, wait, comfortability again, because when you think of a service, you think, okay, this service helps people. So you instantly have created that in your mind solidly without even knowing it. And that's how I say we're such beautiful creators, because when you think of, service now, you'd ring a service and you want the service and you think they'll be straightforward and help you. But if they don't, now you're conflicted because you're saying they're not doing what they're meant to be doing when the only person that said that was you and you're thinking. So I think she's even realized that. And it's like, when we don't receive the help that we think we're meant to receive, it's even lighter now. I've seen her do with it light. And then finally we get through to somebody that's human and they're just down to earth and we have a laugh with them and they sort it out quicker than it could have been sorted ever. And that's opened her eyes to see that, wow, like everybody is human. Do you know what I mean? We all create our certain levels of comfortability, boundaries and stuff. But if we truly let that all go, everything is just learning and experience. And to be honest, we are actually the crazy ones thinking every day should be the same, should be comfortable, should be what we want it to be, should be not expecting, this is life, this is nature, this is, do you know what I mean? We should be used to change and adapt to change. And that change could bring about the most beautiful experience ever. But I feel like the more we put our thoughts on the experience, the more we just tarnish it. But the more we leave it as a present to see what the experience has to offer, I think that's when it truly comes to you.
So good. So good. It occurred to me as well that to know all of that helps you so much, because like we went to Milton Keynes today, which was, I don't know, about 40 minutes drive or something, to see some places, and the estate agent never turned up. And of course we waited, and eventually then we call them because you think, okay, well, it doesn't look like they come in. Then she doesn't know. Then we've got to wait some more time. Then we're just waiting, and we just sat in the car in the wind, knowing we've got to get back as well. And eventually we speak to the estate agent, and he's saying, well, I didn't actually confirm it, and so on and so forth. And there was this like little bit of who's right and who's wrong. And what's so cool is to know all of what you just said, and to be able to go, okay, this is just where we're at now, right now. Maybe we weren't meant to see that house right now. Meant that we didn't get cross. It was like a moment, you know. Papa was like, and then he backed off, and he was like, yeah, all right, mate, well, what can we do? And you know, it was all agreed, there'd be another time, whatever. And we drove home, and we didn't see the place, but we didn't carry then with us, wow, we went all that way and this and that and this and that. We were just like, oh, okay, well, that was good, because that gave us a chance to recce the area and you know, like, see, is the road all right for me to get to the station, and you know. So we sort of used it as this, oh, well, this was useful because now we've seen this and we've seen that. And you just reminded me that when I think that it should be a certain way, like the estate agent should turn up, because that's what they said they were going to do, and the tenant that's in there at the moment should have let us in, instead of being moody because they're breaking up and they don't want to let people in, and you know. Actually, I'm able to go, well, it shouldn't be like that because it wasn't. So it should be how it is because it is. And it's such a lighter thing. So just thinking about that, what you've just said there, we've been able to drive home and drop that experience and turn it into a positive, and see the positive in it. And then one of the questions, like Papa said, well, now we can't see that for a week, and what about if something else comes up? And I was like, well, then it wasn't meant to be. Yeah, it's just simple, isn't it? And that's what I mean by the dance between the flow and us doing something. Like, we can do something, but actually the willingness to go, we may be shown that isn't where we need to be right now. So you got to follow that.
As soon as Omar was speaking, I just suddenly saw, like, you know, we have ideas about how something should be, like on this phone call or something. But I just saw how I have all these future images, like in the future when, that are almost like these stage sets that I have kind of mapped out. But then it gets even more invested, because then I start hoarding stuff or keeping clothes or things that could be moved out, you know, like, because it's like, well, I need to keep all that stuff because that all belongs to that future stage set that I've got attached to in my mind, you know, when I'm a this or when I'm a that, or when I'm in a house that's like this, I'm going to need that. And it all just makes it more solid and more attached, doesn't it? And then we have all these different, I've got, like, you know, 100 stage sets for my life, and probably none of them are what wants to happen, but I'm so busy being attached to them that the real show that wants to evolve just doesn't kind of have space, does it?
We've lived where we live for 5.5 years, and we live in like a 300-year-old property that's a lodge on the grounds of a manor house. And we got it, when we moved in, we got it like real, the rent was the same as a flat in Birmingham, like the rent was really cheap. And when we had to move out and we took a moment and, you know, we had a few days to reflect, the thing that Papa came out with was, we've been blessed, and that's what we'll remember. we've been blessed to live here. You know, we've had 5 amazing years, so many memories with the guys, with the team, with so many things, walking through the village, seeing the little alpacas, and you know, so many amazing memories. And we've actually been blessed, and that's what we'll take away with us. And that changes that shifts the whole perspective then, doesn't it?